Alright, good morning all. Welcome to JSF class. I think yesterday we were able to go through some designs of a given system we want to start developing, and okay, this is something different, and we able to this system we're able to do a lot of observations regarding what is on ground. Actually, it's a big system. It has a lot of components and all that. So today we want to study how we go about the design of the UI and possibly creating Nav bars and all that, and as well as creating models and insertion of tuples into the database. First, we are actually concerned with the admin user creation. I think that's the first thing we do before we begin anything, because that's the source, that's the point at which we begin. So our project is iACASOL, as we all know, which is this. I'm going to run it now. Okay, it has run. All right, this is what we have: school data capture. Actually, yes, this may be. Yesterday, during the theory class, we like kind of concluded that we're not going to register schools. Rather, we'll be deploying per schools, because it's going to be more efficient than you know combining many schools in one single platform. They have different system and all that, so there has to be kind of keys for the schools. All these anywhere you'll be asked to enter key for school and all that, and we don't want it that way. We want it dedicated for the school. So maybe this might not really, but we can convert this to something we wanted, or we'll create something different. So before we begin, please let's understand something here. This is the project. Okay, let me magnify so we see it clearly. Okay, I need to have third party for this magnifier actually, so I don't have to, because this one is I'm not happy using it. Whenever I on it, my system used to misbehave. And so I think this is the structure of the project. We all know this, that web page, then that's one folder. This is the project web page. Forget about these remote files. I use some things here and forget about them for now. As you can see, these are folders under the project iACASOL. So if you click on one, like the first one, web pages, this is where your web pages are supposed to reside. For example, the index page, all other pages should be here. All right, you should create them directly on this. But this meta INF, it contains some kind of information regarding your application. Most importantly, the web INF. The web INF contains web.xml or web.xml, if you like. This web.xml gives you information about all that you're doing in the system. So this is the session timeout giving when it is 30 minutes not being utilized. It goes off and all that, and the session is being called. So you see here we ask it to start from where. This is our welcome file list. The welcome file is what? Index.html. If you write any given page here, it will start loading that page. That's why I say index is the landing page or something. So then under it we have source packages, right? The source packages, this is where you write what? This is where you write your this is where you write the functionalities, if you like, or the Java codes. And under it, as we have explained all the time, that we're going to be having some kind of packages. So the first package here, we said default package, we're not going to use it, but we created our own package and we name it what, DAO. And we have another package, we name it manage bin. And we have another package, we name it model. So you see, you're going to see how we're going to be using these things. Even though maybe today I will just center the discussion around manage bin, maybe, and this DAO. Maybe in our next class I will repeat the functionalities and I'm going to involve what? Model. I want us to take it one after the other and as simple as it is. Then we have the libraries, the test packages. Then we have the libraries. Test packages, we don't have anything there, but libraries, we are going to, this is where we have all the libraries that are being, this is not a Maven project. So we need to supply them libraries we're going to be using. If you're using Maven, you don't need to put in these things. Maven will do that for you. But you have to be online while you are developing. And then I think we are done with the toolbars. Then we have some configurations files. This, if you can look at it very well, the web.xml I talked about is also here. So if you use Maven, you're going to see the Maven pom.xml. We're going to talk about Maven. That's why I say we should keep it aside. And let's understand these things first. So all these other configurations and all that will be here. Of course, there are other files we're going to be creating to configure things and all that. I don't know whether we are understanding. So now, let's look into the design, and then we create something that will allow us to do something here. Here we want to create user, and this user we want to create what kind of admin user, right? Let me start off. I'll close the. Let me exit the magnifier. I think we're done with it. So I have my system functioning as I want it. Okay, good. So I'm going to start the modeling. I want us to model this super admin. What is it? Is the super admin is the root user, right? So I want us to model not super admin. I want us to model this admin user. All right? How do we get admin? I want us to create a model for the admin user and maybe for other users, but for now just admin user. So the first thing we do is to create the models. I guess everyone knows how to do this. So I go to what? Bashir, can you still recall how these things are done? I know you are a master of database. Yes, that's where you specialize, right? You run away from Java and you specialize on MySQL and all that. So now we want to go, as we talk about this, we've been talking about it severally. The first thing here is the database, the one that has this fish. That means it is the MySQL database, the fish symbol, I mean, with this data. And then the second one is the model, right? And the third one here is the migration symbol. So we go to the model because we want to model. Then I click on what? Add what? Add model. So when I click on add model, then it gives me this, right? All right. So I click on this what? MyDB. I double click it and it opens like this. Then I do what? I write. Is it? There's need for us to magnify this, even though it's going to. Please, somebody should check. Abdullah, conduct research on this magnifier. If you can get any third-party magnifier, please you supply to me. Time is not there for me to do that. Not only you, anybody. It will simplify our work. So here we give it iACASOL, right? iACASOL DB, right? Is it? iACASOL, for example. You can give it anything. iACASOL DB. Please pardon me to write it in small letters. iACASOL, maybe dash DB. Right? And then it said that we're going to use UTF-8, all that, whatever, all these things. So we're done, I think. So you click out. We click out, it's all right. It has captured the name, right? Right? It has captured the name. So then you come to what? Add diagram, right? Double click add diagram. It's going to add diagram for you. Okay. Then you come to what? Table. Click on it. Then you click out here. Then double click table. The first table we want to add in is what? It's not super admin. Super admin is the root. You don't need to create. Root is already created by the developers of MySQL. So it's admin. Once I start this magnify, the system misbehaves. Alright, it's already there. Sorry, I did not know. So now, when I say admin users, right? If you like, you can just say admins. Very simple, right? Then the first thing you do is to create what? ID. So please, the first thing here, because we're going to be doing kind of relationships and all that, whatever. So let's see admins what? ID. Okay? Admins ID. If you like, you can introduce underscore here. Okay, admins. Right? Primary key. Not null. Zero field. Auto increment. Then we need to state kind of length of the digits. Let's go by 2 digits, since admins are not all that lengthy. So what next? The first column here, username, right? Not null. This should be auto increment. Not null. Password. Not null. Next. You see, if you ask me questions, I will never answer you. I won't answer you. Once this thing is on, you need to understand what we're doing. Not that as I'm doing, you're doing something different. Password, maybe full name, if you like. Hey, what is it? This magnifier, I'm not happy with it at all. Let me remove it. I think you see what we're doing here. I can never be fast. The system somehow, once it is on, system is not itself. Email, not null. Phone number, status. This status, maybe whether someone is suspended or not. No, we don't need address. Each admin user must be known by the organization. So here we need date or timestamp. Yes, we can see date captured. So here you can give it date, time or timestamp. Either will work. So I think I'm done with this. I need status. Of course, status must be entered. I need timestamp. All of them must be entered. Then I think we are done with the creation. So you close it, Save your model. Go to file and save your model. Save your model. Then you do what? The model is to be saved. I have a project. I have something where I see iACASOL web or iACASOL web version something. All right. Right. iACASOL. What is it? Model. DB model. Save it. Then you forward engineer. Go to databases. Forward engineer it. When you forward engineer, then it is okay. Then you check you query it, show databases, you can search here iACASOL DB. Look at it here. Use it. Show tables. Everyone knows how to do all these things. So we won't going to explain anything. That's where we begin from database. Alright? So this is what we have. Now we have one single table. So now come back to something. Come to this. If you run our app, it opens to this, but this is not what we wanted really. We want to see let's just see the index page down in the landing page as it is, and then we create our nav bars that takes us to whatever. So what I do, I will convert this, I will rename it to say skill capture, skill data capture. I'm renaming this to that. Skill data capture. So if you run now, your system will not run. You won't see anything because no index. Can you see? It's a problem here. It tells you when you see 404, the source you are referring to is not available. That is the meaning. So what you do next is to create another page here and give it index.xhtml. So I'm doing that. Index page. Then I finish. So now here it says hello facelet. Let's say hello iACASOL. So if I run, it tells me hello iACASOL, right? So now we've gotten something running now. So what we do next is let's look into it clearly. This is what is it? iACASOL portal, for example. This is what displays as what? As a name. Can you see? You know, this is the name of the project. But if you look at here, this is the name that displays, the one you've written here in the title. It displays on the tab. Look at something. If I change it to say my iACASOL, for example, if I run, this remains because it is the name of the project. I mean this is the project name right here. But then here, can you see my iACASOL?
Yes,
on the tab? So I need iACASOL. Then here we can do our design, right? Yes, we can do whatever. So the first thing we do is I want us to create something, a kind of a landing page. Even though we did not create any logo for this, maybe I'll ask somebody to create logo. Mama Kabir, before you leave, you're going to create logo for this iACASOL. I'll give you the logo for the iACASOL in a, what is it? iACASOL for desktop application. Then you create logo for this from any given graphic something, because I want us to use this project. I don't know whether you guys will really come in for the development, if you can contribute. So now in this page, let's do something. Let's do the needful, right? Is it? Can we? So let's start the design here. Let me improve the visibility. So the first thing you do here is what? Container from where? From boot faces, right? This is another sort of design. If you don't understand this, actually you have issues, because web pages are never like desktop applications. Web applications are not. You need to be very careful. You need to have, you see, this we do in the container. I think there is container for prime faces. I think, I don't know really. Okay, there's no container for prime faces, but boot faces has container since it is from Bootstrap. You can also use Bootstrap direct. So as I told you, this web frameworks we using the front end frameworks, that is the UI frameworks. You could use either if it is available, but you check on the one that gives you more advantages. But if HTML exists, please go for HTML, because this container has to be converted to HTML. Alright, since it is Bootstrap and it has to convert it. You know, it's Bootstrap and we use it boot faces in our own design. So we can check whether it is fluid or whether it is whatever it is, right? Let's see, fluid false, for example. And this, if you like background, you can go by style and take background. That is if you need background. If you don't need, you can check for something very light, if you like. See, you know, you know how to go here, right? So maybe you check something very light. Okay, something, for example, can you see something coming out? These designs are very simple. If you check, you can do it yourself. So next is what? Form, right? So you can take form, and then the next thing is going to be what? Sorry, panel. We have panel for this, but let's see the difference between the panel here and the panel there. You see this panel, I don't think if this panel is having title. Doesn't. This not. That's why I'm using panel from Bootstrap. So you have to do some things for you to introduce title to the panel of what? Panel of parentheses. Right? So if I need panel here, I write panel. But I don't think if in the index page you need panel. But let's just, title. Let's see, landing page, for example. But this is not appropriate. So you see something is coming up, right? Even though we don't need this, actually it is a landing page. So we have margin because we have called this guy, this float false. If you say float true, it gives you what? There will be no margin. Can you see it has covered everything? But once, if it is false, let me go around so you see the two differences. When you false it, can you see when you false it? And this is when you make it true, right? So maybe you could have this panel, you could design it this way. Maybe you're going to have some style here, and then you give it a background that comes out, or something. I don't know what color we're going to be using, but let's use blue maybe. I don't think, maybe let's use blue if it is possible. Let's say blue, even though sometimes you don't use this primary color like this. This doesn't look good. Maybe you put this to the form, so when you write it comes down. Or let me leave it as it is. It comes down. That doesn't really look good. You know, even color selection, you need to give attention on how you select colors. These primary colors. Okay, no problem. So maybe from here there's something we call jumbotron. We do use it when we need right, jumbotron. I don't know how many of you are going through the material given to you. Oh, no one. Yeah, I would have asked somebody to design this manually, so we just go by it. But I'm not going to waste time here. Actually, that's not the aim. So here I need a space, right, in between. So come up before container, you come up with a div. Then within the div you give kind of form, right? I want us to do the right thing here. Then within it you can use the spacer from parentheses or BR, which is which. If you want to use BR, you use BR. If you want to use spacer, so if it is BR, you just introduce BR like this. Can you see it has sorry, 1 minute. Okay, sir. Alhamdulillah. Bari ina class zan kira ka. Ina zo. Sorry, sometimes people do this stuff. Alright, I add another, but this color doesn't look good. The color and the background are not rhyming, right? They are not. So please, let's look for something suitable. Huh? I don't know. You say? Oh, please, this is not a problem. We can perfect the colors anytime, right? Yes, anytime we can perfect the colors. Of course, color selection is something you have to look into. So now within the jumbotron, you can do whatever here. Can do whatever. Can you see? If you write, it comes down. You can do whatever. But this I would like to use something I can give specification of the space myself. Okay, I want to use spacer because I can specify the pixels I wanted here. I think for the BR I can do that as well. So you introduce height here, you can give it 50 pixels, and then you check. See, 50 pixels I think is still not, because we're going to have an Nav Bar here. Even though it will drop down, then let's have like 120. I think it will be okay. So when our logo is developed, we're going to use the logo here. So let's just see insert. insert iACASOL logo here. Logo, for example. Okay. Maybe if you want to centralize with something, then you need to put it in a given element, a given tag, and maybe H1, for example. Then you align the H1, align it maybe to something center or whatever needed. As from today, I will begin to send task. When you see task on your WhatsApp group, anybody who thinks he can accomplish the task should comment, so we know that somebody has taken it. If we need logo, we need something, I will send it. Or we need a model to be designed or something, I will just send. So anyone who wants to, it's an advertisement. If you want to go, if you want to design it, or if you want to participate, if it is for more than one person, then you try to indicate. So you see something is coming out. So now what we wanted is to come up with what? The bar here, the nav bar. So for the nav bar, you can check from prime faces, you can check from boot faces, you can check. I enjoyed using these boot faces nav bar actually. So let's go by this, please. Let's understand what the nav bar is all about and all that. But before we do that, we have to create something called the header, right? So come here, right click, okay. I've opened a lot of things, right? Let's maintain. Right click on the web pages and create another page and give it name. What?
Header.
Thank you. Header. Header with small letter like this. If you use capital, no, notwithstanding that small letter. So this here you now see header. Header is the what? That is the name of the page. So here you're going to write header, and this header we want it to contain the nav bars, the nav navigation bars. So if you check here, this brand means name of your what? The brand name of the app. Then you have what? Home, you have link, you have what? And the link. I think this is okay. So you can pick this. It's a showcase. If you need anyone you want it, you can go for it. Can you see another one here? You can go for it. You can pick. You can even design yours. You can design yours if you like. So once you check here, boot faces / layout, the nav bar, and all that. And here they are giving us kind of attribute for the tags being used. Maybe we'll look into one or two attributes here after picking what we wanted. You even have something. Can you see how they are? All these are showcase of nav bars. Can you see nav bars like this? If you need something to search, you can click this. Alright? Or if you need something to be submitted or something, you put in and you search it, you submit. And then the nav bar here, this is what inverted nav bar. Modify the looks of the nav bar by adding what? Inverse. Can you see inverse here? If you check in here, the first one has no inverse. No inverse here. So anyone that comes to anyone that you want, and this one they said is what you can modify the kebab icon shown on the small screens by adding what? Facet called what? Kebab. So check here. There's something here. This is the facet name. Give it kebab. So what is the difference between the two? I think it's only this kebab on the inverse, right? Let's go by this one, and maybe then we try to play around with it. So I copied this and I want it here, but you know this is another page. So before that, let me introduce the container, right? So it should work correctly, is it not? B container, isn't it? I hope it is visible. So then I introduce what again? B form, right? We need to do the proper things, otherwise there could be issues. Then we introduce what? B panel. Do we need to introduce panel? I don't think if we need panel, but let's see. Then we put in this Nav Bar. Let's run the app. If we run, what will happen? You know, this header is never been used. It's never been called anywhere, right? Yes, it's not been called. So what do we do? If I want to invoke the header, what do I do? Now the interpretation of what we want to do is I want to insert the complete of this page header into index page. So how do we do that? Please come over here. This is body, right? What I wanted is for it to be inserted where? Here at the top. So if I want to insert it at the top, where do I go to? Do I insert it after this space or before this space? Before, immediately after what? Body. So you introduce div and also introduce what? Form. Is it? Then you introduce something we call UI include. Alright, UI what? Include. If you read from the tag, I like how this sometimes it brings in explanations of or documentation, sub-documentations of the tag. The tag is the same as what? UI composition. But I want UI include. Okay, now UI include, look at it. Use this tag which is very similar to JSP's JSP include. Right? You use it to encapsulate and reuse content among the multiple XHTML. Can you hear? This is what we explained. There are three things this tag can include. It includes what? Plain XHTML and what? XHTML pages that have either composition tag or what? Component tag. That means you can include and include and include, because when I include header into index or landing page, if header also included another page, then I can include and include. I don't know whether you get it, but let's just include. So introduce the UI include here, and then after including, you now include source. At source here, you give the name of the page you want to include. What is the name? Header.xhtml. So let's run. Can you see? Can you see something here? Not only here, virtually all frameworks being used for development of web application. If you are using CodeIgniter, you must include UI. If you are using Laravel for PHP, CodeIgniter for PHP, Django for Python, if you are using technologies from the side of .NET, ASP.NET, or any other one, you have to be including. But if you look at what we included here, is it really okay? You know, we introduced container, and this is supposed to actually cover end to end, right? I don't know whether you are looking at what I'm saying. End to end. It's end to end, is it not? Should be end to end. So let's check on our design here. This we introduced, where is it? Index.html. Where is it? Container, okay, body. Okay, we introduce container in the header. So you need to introduce fluid and make it through. So it can what? It can accommodate all. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. So I think this gives us something. But because of the inverse, unless if you click like this or if you hover, then you see it clearly. So that is part of what we are going to be checking, and then we'll compare between this and kebab and so many other things then. And I think by the links. So I think when I'm done with this, I'll push it to your. We need to create a repository for this work, so we can be updating the repository anytime you need to rise. Anyone knows how to use GitHub or GitLab or something, Colab, something? So no. Yes, GitHub. I do use GitHub. So please, let's check from here. Come to the header. Come to the header here, the brand here. The brand here is supposed to be iACASOL, right? Then this is navigation. If I click on iACASOL, where does it go to? It should refer to where?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, you follow me? Of course, yes. Index.xhtml. Then for the inverse here, let me touch the inverse here. Let me say false. Then I run. Can you see I force it and you see what I have? So that means if I have this, all I need is just to improve the size of the font and do kind of something, isn't it? Then so this panel is the one that gives us this. So let's confirm that. Style, and we need background color, for example. The background color should be, let me see the color over here. Okay. It is time actually. This is 11. And let me just achieve something, then we call it. But I will send task. So that does this make sense? If it's going to have a color, then all the color should be same for all, right? But you can modify it how you want it. I told you color selection is something one has to be very careful. So if this is the from the panel, what about the Nav Bar itself? The Nav Bar could have something different in terms of the background. Okay, this is what I used. Maybe something light. Well, I don't know. This is something you conclude. I want to see the design of each and every one of you. Then we pick the best. Okay. Then here the color for the what? For the font, let it be black. And the size of the font. This is where you, if you need a very fantastic font, you need to check from either DAR font or from Google font or something. So you get no, this is font family. I need font size. Maybe larger. Or is it already larger? Okay. Spelling is not correct. Or extra large, for example. Okay, you see what is happening. And maybe if you want to bold it, you introduce font what? Font weight, right? Font weight, then give it bold or bolder. I think it's still being affected by that inverse or something. I think it should have same color. We can check the colors later. So here at the home could be something. It could be about, for example, if you want, because already this text home. But if you leave it, then it has to be same index home, right? But I can check. I do have about here. About. Then if I have a page called about, then I call the page here. If you don't have, let's quickly create a page here called about. About, so we see how it navigates. Alright, then you give it about. about, page. Okay, so when I run and I click on about, it takes me to where? About, but I did not put the link, and the link is what? About.html. So if I click, it navigates. That is part of what we are actually doing. XHTML, the file extension. Yes, can you see about page? Then next is what? Let me just talk about the admins. Let's see, admin, is it admin login or staff? For example, one of these links. Let me pick the last one. Let's see staff login. Then you navigate to staff login, even though we did not create the page. This nav bar doesn't look good. Let me revisit it, because we're likely going to stop somewhere, and I'll send you task. You do it, so I'll check by next week. Header. Maybe this should be white. And here you have something. Let's see. Let me have something dark, for example. Oh, not really. Let me use black, for example. Later I check. Black. So please, let's check from this. Let's have a look at the kebab. What is the difference between this inverse and the kebab? The only difference is the facet that is being introduced, right? Yes, the facet that is being introduced before. Or let me copy it and have another link, then we compare the two. Let me have another one here. This is one panel, right? Let me have another form. Then I create another panel. You see, it's asking me to add this F, which is not there. So it's added. Then let's run. B panel must be terminated. What happened with B panel? Okay, I did not terminate. Oh. It's a mistake. Alright, so you see the difference? These are the differences. So if you want to go by this, then you just improve the colors. I think this is better. better of the first one. You just you improve the colors, and then you try to bring it like this, because this is too skewed. So I think we're going to stop here. Next class we'll begin next class we'll begin the back end. Same time the other things, other development and all that. For those who were able to create admin page and all that, please try to link it here. Link it at here, so you have sub of this. If you click, it takes you to a page where you have staff login. Below it you have admin and what root. So you can click and create something. So I would like you, part of the task, please, you should look for good colors you think that will suit us. Colors. At the same time, Google font, if any. So we can embed Google font, and I'm going to send like some pages that you're going to create here as their links. You're going to create some pages, like pages for registration, pages for application, pages for registration, pages for all that, school admin, whatever, all this. I need to work with some of you that, so we can bring out the requirements, because this alone is not enough. We need to have requirement. You see, we are at here. How can a director users creation? All right, you create director, you create principal account, and then you create accountant account. Okay, all these are from the side of admin, then academic. This is a huge work. All right, thank you for watching.